100 kings and 100 queens?
Coming August 25th is the series titled Press Me by King Stevian. This 6-episode series begins with Series 1, which features Stevian as a supposed-to-be servant, but was hiding his true identity from this lovely lady who he went to win over. Find out in the first episode why he disguised himself as a servant. Who was this lady? What did Stevian do to this lady that made her melt like a popsicle? Did he lick the juices of the popsicle? And what happens after she reveals who she really is, after hiding it from Stevian on the first episode of Press Me out on this channel here on YouTube and on lounges.tv on pay-per-view only $8. And some change, which is cheaper than your McDonald's meal you be going out your way to eat, August 25th. See it on YouTube. Subscribe now below by clicking the link in the description, which is only $29.99 per month. The best fiat you'll ever spend. Those who watch the first series will get rewarded at the end of the series by receiving the UGH mixtape by King Stevian and DJ Roski and receive 2 deeds to settle your debts with worth $1 trillion in lawful money credits, which include real gold, pyrite, Jamaican sand, amethyst, gold citrine, black tourmaline, and real moissanite stones, which are harder than diamonds. All this will be on the cover of the series' USB album cover and the USB, which be on sale September 22nd as a pre-sale and on September 25th for actual sale. If you haven't subscribed as a $29.99 per month member joiner, then today is yo day to join. Smash that join button or click the link in the description to get ready to watch this exciting Kingdom series. Also, to watch over 900 plus videos on YouTube by King Stevian.
This video is for that, for precepts 1 and 2. So, for precepts 1 and 2, we started with durable power of attorney. Then we're going to go into the next things that is required to start your status correction. Okay, this is needed before you even use your silver, copper, or gold. You could go ahead and get it, but this would be the very first thing you do. Okay? So just in case they come back, hit you with a frivolous filing, then this is what you will use here. Because the king or the queen has power of attorney over the straw man. If you are the straw man, then that means you're still under the jurisdiction of the state and you have no power because the state stripped all your power and they prostitute you to the IRS, Social Security Administration, the government. So this is why you want to take foreign power of attorney. You cannot be your own power of attorney. John Alex Doe cannot be the power of attorney for John Alex Doe. And we had plenty being state that by the IRS, and it shows that under 31 CFR 240.14 through 17, Mary is over John, John is over Mary, so it is 2 totally different beings. And no, don't make up a name. You use your foreign name. And if you turn your first name going backwards, so you're a king or queen, why? Because if you look up what a registration is under Black's Law Dictionary 3, edition 3, not the other editions, 3, it would tell you it's a king's decree. What is the king's decree? Anything stated on a document to the public. The king or queen, when they recite anything, it is going out to the public for the public to follow that order. Okay? So the public is your state officials, your federal, local, judicial, legislative, all of those. Even your blood tribe. Okay? So once you become the king or queen, you're in charge of your whole entire bloodline. And that really starts with this, but then it goes into your estate number that does that. Why the first name going back? Because one, you're part of the 100 kings and 100 queens. And this, just like if you was following Jesus, Jesus gave his disciples different names. They did not argue with him on that. You're more than welcome to have whatever name you want after you leave the 100 kings and queens. But while you're part of us, you need to use this because the IRS, the states, all states, and even Social Security Administration, the Treasury, they know who we are. So when they see these documents with the 100 Kings logo on it, 100 Kings, 100 Queens logo on it, they know who is coming. And it's good to be part of a tribe so that way you can just go on through like a breeze of fresh wind. Just whoosh. See them leaves right there? See them leaves right there? They're blowing. But you don't know which way the wind is going or coming, just like Christ said. But anyway, let's get started. Started with the dual power of attorney. Okay. So the first thing, you see the king and queen logo here. Okay. Page 1. Make sure your pages are all numbered. Some might be on the top, some might be on the bottom of the page. But make sure they are numbered, because if they are not numbered, they are not a legal document at all. Okay. So when y'all remove numbers off pages, you know, it just wipes it out because they don't know what page came first. They don't know if some was added. So this is why you have to have them numbered. Okay? All right. Because remember, we're sending this to the public. Okay? So it starts off with the 13-digit barcode. Okay? Durable power of attorney. It is actually the durable power of attorney in fact. So we're going to put that on here. Okay? Because that's the name of this. It's a difference beside a regular durable power of attorney. Durable power of attorney, in fact, makes you the agent. And I learned that, okay, from the state, from the Social Security Administration, and from the IRS. All right. So your 13-digit barcode has to go here. You got to get it from me. You cannot go to any other site and try to get a barcode. It is not going to work, okay? And there's a reason behind that. Because the barcode we have, which begins with 655, is a foreign barcode. If you go look up barcode country codes, type it in on Google, it'll give you a site. Click on that site, and it'll go there and give you the list of all the first 3 digits of all the different country codes. So what that means, I have my own country. Okay? That means I and everyone else that follow me in this journey is private. You're under our protection, okay? Once you step outside, I won't protect you. I won't fight for you. So when you come here trying to do your own thing, just know that I will not be there with you. This is why I want to see your power of attorney before you get it notarized. You fill it out, put the barcode on there, and let me see it before you get it notarized or before you go get it authenticated. You will get this authenticated on the state and federal level. You're going to have 2 of them, well, 3 of them. You're going to have one just for your records without it being authenticated or apostille. You're going to have one that's authenticated, state and federal, and one apostille for Mexico. When you get the one authenticated, it will be for your 9-8 foreign country. Okay? Make sure that that country is not a Hague Convention country when you get it authenticated. Now, the one that is for Mexico is part of the Hague. Why? Because when you get apostille, when you get that one apostille, that means you're coming in to a Hague country, and what that also means that you never, ever was in the United States. So if you never was in the United States, guess what? That means you never was their slave. Okay? So when you get yours authenticated, remember your apostille is for Mexico. Why Mexico? Because Mexico has a tax treaty with the United States and is right next door to the United States. Some people did Indonesia, but they changed it over to Mexico. Some people did Morocco, but Morocco is not next to the United States. Most Mexicans jump in the border. Easy. Mexico is not that far from the United States, so we just go ahead and choose that because it's right next door. Okay? You do any other far country, they're going to be like, well, why are you doing this? And they flag it. So this is why we have had much success with apostilling for Mexico. Okay? So when you get it authenticated, a lot of people getting it done for Kenya. Okay? So when you find a country where your 9(8) trust is going to be, make sure it's not part of the Hague. Make sure it's where your 9(8) trust is going to be. And you reach out on Facebook or one of the other social networks and reach out to some pastor there and let them know, hey, I got a trust that I'm starting. I need a co-trustee, okay, to build foundations, churches, and even orphanages, okay? You want your name in many countries as possible, but you start out with your 9(8) country, and then after you get that established, then you start building around the world. This is how your name will be great amongst all countries, like the scriptures say, okay? You'll be known. So when you're dead and gone, your name's going to be in every country. Everyone's going to know you, just like the Rockefellers, just like the Rothschilds, okay? And Bill Gates trying to do the same thing. Little y'all know it or not, okay? So you request a barcode from me, cityside2006@gmail.com. They are $25. They're not free because I have to put the data in and I have to register it, okay? Remember, registration means a king's decree. And of course, if you're a queen, it's a queen's decree. Because what is a king without a queen? What is a queen without a king? Okay? So, you get that. The 13-digit barcode is called a EAN13. You can look it up. It means it's foreign to the United States. It cannot be used within the United States. You might say, well, how am I getting this 13-digit barcode and it's no good? It is good. This is why you're getting it authenticated. Authenticated means full faith and credit, of course, but it also means it's good in this state and it's good in all the other states. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to the authentication, okay? And they know you're just a foreigner coming into the United States. You're the king or queen. You're coming in and you're able to take over the public 12-digit barcode, which is on a birth certificate. Okay, some of them are 9, some of them are 10, some of them are 11. But if you look up the country code for the United States, it starts with 01 or starts with 1. Okay, and that's what you're taking over. Okay, so keep in mind, the king or queen is taking over everything that's domestic. That's why the king or queen is coming back into the United States. The beneficiary is coming in, so that way the beneficiary can accept its or his or her benefits. Okay? And the king or queen is the one that works for the grantor on behalf of the beneficiary. This is why you cannot be all three. So do not let nobody lie to you. And this is why when Christ came on the scene, he changed all the disciples' names. Y'all have to understand where they get this stuff from. Okay? And they recognize us as kings or queens. And once we're a king or queen, trust me, they give you respect. Okay? So if you want to be anything less than a king or queen, the 100 kings and 100 queens is not for you. Okay? So, let's move on. 1, right here it says I. That's the straw man. So right here you're speaking in a straw man because that's what they have you as. First, middle, last. What you were born with. Okay? So we're going to put born. Born name. Okay? First, middle, last. Do not put a married name. Do not put an adopted name. You put what was on your birth certificate when you were birthed. That is your live birth. Okay? Your live birth is always apostilled, not authenticated. So if you authenticated your live birth, you need to go back to the drawing board and get them to apostill it. Okay? Apostill it from Mexico. Okay? Now, when you get the birth certificate authenticated, it's the same country for your 9(8). All your authentications will be for the same country where your 9(8) trust is going to be. Okay, so all caps name, okay, of, and this is no P.O. boxes. Do not use a P.O. box. Use the street address. Some of you try to weasel around this and still add a P.O. box. You're not hiding. You're using the physical address. Okay? And just because you don't get mail there don't mean anything. If you don't get mail there, that means they can't come to your house knocking on the door because it's not up under the zip code. And that's why you don't put the P.O. box. Some of y'all keep putting the P.O. box and they come right to your house because you're using that zip code. Okay? And do not put zip exempt. You can take the zip off and just leave your city and state if you want to. But they'll still find out the zip code. So you can try to hide all you want. All right. Known as principal. Hereby designate, and then you put your king name, king or queen name, and that's your first name spelled backwards. So let me put that in here so y'all can see this. First name spelled backwards. So your first name is John. It will be Naj. It will be King Naj of the, whatever your last name is up here, uppercase, lowercase, estate. Okay, and then it's care of, because you're there taking care of that address. Okay, taking care of the business of that residence, of the straw man. And put the zip. Hereinafter, known as agent. To act as the agent for the principal's benefit, and shall exercise powers in the principal's best interest and general welfare as a fiduciary. And then you got appointment of alternative agent. Now, on your very first one, you're going to keep it at 0. Because if you put 1, the IRS is going to ask you to do a whole nother 2848 for, or Form 56, for the other being. You don't want all that. You're just coming in with the king or queen name. Don't make it difficult. Later on down the line, you can have another being, but it is not the same name as above. Again, the beneficiary cannot be the power of attorney for the straw man, because you are becoming the surety when you do that, and you're removing yourself as the beneficiary. You can't act as trustee and the beneficiary, because this is why a lot of you are not getting y'all benefits, because y'all sitting around here acting as y'all are the straw man. Straw man is dead. Once you merge yourself with something that's dead, you don't come back alive. You're still dead because the body is rotted. You going to walk around like the living dead? No, you're going to be stinking like the living dead. So, we're going down, and y'all can read all this in your own time. But when you come over here on the left side, all these right here that have these lines, you are going to put your first initial, second initial, third initial. If you got 4 names and not your married name, do not put anything dealing with a married name. First initial, middle name initial, last name initial. Okay? And you're going to sign that on the side. Everywhere you see this line is where you're going to sign, because you are agreeing with the straw man taking over this for the principal. Okay? So the first one is banking. You can read this in your spare time. The second one is business interest. The next one is safe deposit box. The next one is stocks and bonds. So when y'all go to settle debts for the bonds, this is one of the things that you need. Buy, sell, exchange stocks and bonds. See? Establish, continue, modify, and terminate an account. See? You don't want bonds. You don't want CUSIP numbers. Y'all need to learn that. Commodities and options. Claims and litigation. See? So when you're making a claim on any instrument, this plays part with this one. We scroll down. You got lending and borrowing. You are the lender, not the borrower. So when it comes down to lending your silver, your gold, your copper To the companies, this is how you settle debts. You're lending it to them so they can go to the Treasury and settle the debt. So you're creating a debt with the corporations. This is how you do all bill collectors. And if they don't perform, then that debt is solidified by the default letter 28 days later, and then you go to the Treasury and you get paid because they failed to perform. Okay? And there are codes that let you know under assignments, okay, and intermediaries to let you know that they have a job and they are suable. Okay? So, the next is government benefits in regards to government benefits. So in your spare time, y'all can read that. So that way, trying to change this right here. It won't change for some reason. Okay, there we go. You get a chance to read that, because once you kill the power of attorney for the state, the government, now you're responsible as the trustee, the king or queen, to go to the Treasury directly. Retirement plans. Y'all can handle that for your jobs if you have jobs. Taxes. The whole game is dealing with taxes. Okay? All your principal is taxes that you pay these corporations back. 26 U.S.C. 1445 lets you know you're the transferee and it's your job to tax them. But they flipped it around, gave you a loan, a tax loan, and they paid it off for you. They don't never let you know, and that's why you're paying your monthly payments on whatever bill it is, car payment, house payment, cable payment, phone bill. That's what's going on. Okay? And if you look at 26 U.S.C. 1445, you will see it's dealing with taxes. Okay? Just like Gene Keaton used to say. Okay? So you definitely want to initial that. Now we go down, we got insurance and annuities. There's a lot of things dealing with insurance. The state has insurance on you, the driver's license, all that. Okay? So this is how you handle this, right? So we go down, estates, trusts, and other beneficial interests. So off rip is letting you know that the executor or executrix can handle the trust and the estate and other beneficial interests. So when you send this off to a bank or any place, then they don't want to sign this because they don't have the right to go to the Treasury anymore. This is why if you on food stamps or something like that, they will fret and they don't want to operate with you anymore. So you scroll down, we got real estate. Now, when it comes down to real estate, this is the thing you're going to use to settle the debts. Now, when they see this, this is dealing with sale, exchange, convey, okay? If you look up the 4797 or the 1041D, it talks about sale or exchange, okay? So, that's what this is dealing with, okay? Or even any other real estate, okay? Land, that sort of thing, okay? And then it says interest in that entity. If you see that, entity. So when you read 26 U.S.C. 1445, it talks about property, real estate. United States real estate, in that definition of that, when you look at it for property, it'll let you know it can be a corporation. That's why it says entity here. A lot of y'all don't know that a corporation is real estate because they have you with your Social Security number tied to that all caps name. So once you merge with the straw man, you become real estate. Okay? Or that entity comes alive. They say it comes alive, but it's still dead. But your real estate, which is you, the living being, gets tied to it. And if you look down, it says real property. Okay? So understand that and read that code. Scrolling down to page 15, you got personal property. In regard to personal property, the principal authorizes the agent to demand, buy, receive, accept as a gift or as security for an extension of credit or otherwise acquire or reject ownership or possession of tangible personal property or an interest in tangible personal property. So let me tell you this. if you have a case, if you have a ticket, you need to go take that down to the courts and file that in the court case. Send a copy to the judge and the opposing party. If you ever got locked up, you need to send that to the booking area so that way they can see they don't have authorization. And then when you go to court, you're going as the king or the queen and let them know, I gave y'all the power of attorney. I'm here, king such and such of the such and such estate, of his or her or its estate. I'm here to settle that matter. Then you give the judge the 236 form filled out along with a copy of your gold or silver deed that you get from me. Okay? And if you don't know how to get one, go look at my YouTube videos on gold or silver certificates. Type in King Stevian, silver certificate, and it'll come up. Okay? So we go down. We're on page 16, personal and family maintenance. Now, this also deals with child support, direct child support, okay, and direct care for your offspring, okay? And as you see right here, it says in 2, direct child support. So this is not dealing with a third party, okay? So let me make sure I put this in there, not third parties. So that way they know nobody else can take care of this but the trustee. And I'm going to specify that in there. Matter of fact, I'm going to save it right now. Okay? I'm going to save it so that way when I upload it to the site, for y'all to look at this, y'all will have the same copy. No confusion here. Because this is why I'm doing this teaching, so that way y'all have the same updated version. Okay? I save it in a bunch of places. Okay, so we go to my Dropbox here. All right. Now, we go down to the next page, which is page 18, gifts. Now, if y'all don't know this, y'all need to know now that when it comes down to courts, jobs, they say that you gave your lawful money as a gift. You did not. It's all a lie. Okay? And they do this because you don't know no better. Okay? When you're at the job, they give you fiat and IOU while they steal the lawful money. Same thing with any company you're dealing with, a bill on, mortgage, car. Okay? It's all the same. Cable company, phone company, insurance. They do the same thing. They steal your lawful money. Pay the tax on it because they pull the lawful money into public. Anytime you pull lawful money into public, this is why the government taxes you, because you can't bring private into the public. And once you do, then you get taxed on it. Some of you don't care about getting taxed. But when you get taxed on any amount, you yourself is the citizen. So they say that you gave it to them as a gift. That means you're liable for the taxes. Okay? So what you need to do is report them on the 8288A and 8288B form. They are the withholder, and you yourself are the transferor. Then they are the transferee. So they received it, and they're supposed to withhold the tax. And that's how you get them in trouble. Okay? So let's move forward. Make sure you initial that. First, middle, and last initial of the principal, not the king or queen. Special instructions. The principal can grant any additional powers of instructions to the agent other than the powers listed under this power of attorney. Okay? So right here, anything you want to add, you can put any property, DNA, you put the agent is responsible for handling copyright, DNA, fingerprints, you know, and anything else you can think about, you put it right here, okay? And that way, the king or the queen is responsible for everything. The power of attorney, durable power of attorney, that handles everything anyway, because it becomes property. That's what an estate is, okay? And when you get to your copyright, your worldwide copyright that you get from me, then you will see that you have ROP inside of that copyright, which is right of publicity. So nothing that's private to the public, okay? And if you want to add ROP, agent is responsible for ROP, right of publicity. Put it in there, and that will handle the fingerprints, anything that's private, DNA, blood, all that, okay? That's what ROP is, okay? So if you done gave something to 23andMe and all these companies here, then that will take care of that, and you can get all that back, okay? Effective date. Make sure first, middle, initial there of the principal. And then right here it says authority of agent, and the next pages on 21 and on talks about the job of the agent, okay? Liability, okay? That lets you know that the agent is not responsible for anything except breach of fiduciary duties. You're going to put the birth state, because it says the laws of the United States, that's federal, and the state of your birth state. Okay? So when it says United States, that's all states anyway, but you want to specify the birth state. Why? Because you're going to get one of these done in your birth state, notarized in your birth state, and authenticated in your birth state. Okay? You can get one in the state where you are, but the one that you want to get authenticated to kill off your state because they have the birth certificate is the one in your birth state. Make sure you get that done, because if not, the state is always going to rule over you. Stop trying to be cheap, kill off the birth state, and now you got your life back, okay? Along with sending your birth certificate to be authenticated to a foreign non-Hague country, okay? So photocopies. So here, you're going to put the 13-digit barcode number that I give you. It got a 0 before it, and then you're going to type in the same number without 0 in the front. So this one's going to be 12, and this one's going to be 13, okay? Because it says foreign, and right here it says domestic. So I understand why you're using 2, okay? So right here is it says principal signature, okay? And then you have the agent signature right here. So this page is your private page. Know this, okay? So the principal is signing over the rights, and you need 2 different witnesses. You cannot use your beneficiary name. You cannot use your king name or queen name as a witness. It needs to be 2 totally different people. Do not make up some names, because if you ever had to go in court and they ask where these people are, they're going to say, they're going to throw it out. So stop trying to be smooth, slick Willie. Okay? Principal first, middle, and last, all caps. 2 witnesses. They print and they sign up here. Okay, so let me make sure that you know that. Put the signature there. Okay? And then, I don't know why it's doing that. Put that underline there. Underline, underline, underline. Sound like Migos. Underlay, underlay, underlay. And then they print their name right there. Okay? So, agent. It says king or queen name, first name spelled backwards of the last name of state. Okay? And then the agent for all caps name, first, middle, and last. Do not change this durable power of attorney in any way except where you need to type in the information that is required. Agent signature, king such and such, or queen such and such of the such and such state signature. You need to get used to that signature, and then you spell it out right down here like you did above. care of, same address from page 1. Then, this notary acknowledgement page on page 24, state of, you're going to have 2 of these, one for your birth state and one for the state you're in now for those who are in another state. Because you got 2 of them. Okay? Remember that. So in your birth state, you're going to have one apostilled and one authenticated. So with the state you are in now, you can go ahead and just get that done, take that into the IRS building, drop that off with your 2848. This does not go with your Form 56. This only goes with the 2848. Okay? So, on this day, so you might need to change this based on your state, because some states require a certain way that the notary page have to be done. Okay? So if you have to do that, erase this out and do it the way your state says do it. So the assigner and beneficiary name goes here. Uppercase, lowercase. Remember, it's your first name and your middle name. First name here, middle name there, after the hyphen, and then the colons, and then the last name. Okay? Then underneath, the notary prints their name. Notary prints their name right there next to where it says Notary Public. Okay? Make sure they do that. And then their seal, and then their commission expires there. Okay? And I think the notary has to sign as well, because we've been having some issues with that. So we're going to put the notary signature. Okay, then the seal goes there, and the commission expires there. Okay? And that is page 24. So if you don't have 24 pages, that means something changed. Do not do this in Word Online, because if you do, it's going to mess up all what transfers over to the Form 56 when it's time to do the Form 56. Okay? So make sure it's this way. Make sure you line them up if it's not. Okay? And it needs to look exactly identical to this. Okay? So that is it for the durable power of attorney class. We're going to go into the Form 56 next.